1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The U.S. Treasury Chief says that Sri Lanka's creditors should provide timely debt treatment. India and Sri Lanka work on action plan for future cooperation. The Prime Minister says that the interest-free loan given to students who follow higher studies will be provided again. The State Minister said that 187 billion rupees has been allocated to provide the welfare beneficiary payment. It has been stated that a full-time program is in place in the country regarding the security arrangements. In foreign news, families mourn passengers killed in sub-implosion. U.S. Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen today met with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe on the sidelines of the summit for a new global financial pact. Yellen said she was pleased to see Sri Lanka receiving the approval for the IMF-supported program earlier this year and commended the strong domestic ownership of the island nation's reform agenda. During the meeting, she also highlighted the importance of Sri Lanka's creditors delivering on debt restructuring in a timely manner. Yellen also discussed the efforts to evolve the multilateral development banks to combat the 21st century global challenges. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena held detailed discussions with Indian High Commissioner Gopal Bagley on the proposed roadmap for cooperation between the two countries. When the Indian High Commissioner called on the Prime Minister at Temple Trees yesterday, they examined the outlines of the proposed action plan on economic cooperation. High Commissioner Bagley, referring to the increase of tourism, said India would take steps to increase flights between the two countries. He said the public sector, as well as private airlines, are willing to cooperate flights to destinations in Sri Lanka. The Alliance Air wants to increase operations and extend current flights from South Indian destinations to Jaffna and to the Ratmalana Airport, as they have been open for passenger flights. The Prime Minister urged for more Indian investments in the sectors such as digitalization, alternative energy and agriculture. The Prime Minister thanked India for the support to obtain a suitable IMF program for Sri Lanka, for which financing assurances from creditors to make Sri Lanka's debt sustainable are required, as well as for the assistance during the economic crisis. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the interest-free loan given to students who follow higher studies will be provided again. Measures will be taken to solve the problems arising from this issue. The Prime Minister made this remark in Parliament while answering a question raised by the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. Meanwhile, the appeals can be handed over for the Aswasuma beneficiary program. The government's aim is to provide this concession to low-income families. The Prime Minister stated that the necessary financial assistance in this regard will be provided by foreign countries. State Minister Shehan Semasinghe said that 187 billion rupees has been allocated to provide this payment. The named lists for this program have already been declared. Appeals and complaints relevant to this program can be handed over until the 30th of this month. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. State Minister Pramita Bandara says that a full-time program is in place in the country regarding security arrangements. The news reports published regarding the visit of the Army Commander to the southern province under heavy security is baseless. It is the duty of the government to provide security to the Army Commander. The government has declared a special bank holiday on the 30th of June 2023. This was announced in a special Gazette notification issued by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena in his capacity as the Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government. The special bank holiday was declared under Section 10(1) of the Holidays Act No. 29 of 1971. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Specialist doctor on respiratory diseases at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital in Colombo, Dr. Chanda De Silva, says that there is a risk of the unborn child being infected by tuberculosis in the mother's womb. There are necessary facilities in all hospitals in the island to prevent this situation. He also said that 3% of children reported in the country have been infected by tuberculosis. If children below the age of 5 are not treated, there is a possibility that they will be at a risk of being infected with brain fever. Clinics for children with respiratory diseases are being conducted on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital. It has been reported that 600 persons in the country are dying annually from this disease.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepu Vedamahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that the water supply to parts of Colombo will be suspended for 16 hours tomorrow. Accordingly, Colombo 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 will be affected by the water cut imposed from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. The NWSDB attributed the 16-hour water cut to the essential maintenance work planned under the Ambatale Water Supply System Improvements and Energy Saving Project. We now take a look at world news. The headlines first. Families mourn passengers killed in sub-implosion. Joe Biden and Narendra Modi hail defining US-India partnership. Aung San Suu Kyi's son urges army to free her. Tributes are flowing for the 5 men killed on board the Titan sub in what US officials say was a catastrophic implosion. The victims were Hamish Harding, 58, Shahzada Dawood, 48, and his son Suleiman Dawood, 19, Paul Henry, and 77, Stock Rush, 61. Their families have expressed profound grief and paid tribute for their exploration endeavors. A robotic diving vehicle found major fragments of the sub on the seafloor about 1,600 feet from the Titanic shipwreck yesterday. US President Joe Biden hailed US-India ties while rolling out the pomp and pageantry for visiting Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday. This included marching bands, a lavish vegetarian dinner and a 21-gun salute on the southern lawn of the White House. Mr. Modi, who is on a state visit, also addressed the US Congress, where he received a standing ovation. The US, which denied a visa to Mr. Modi over human rights concerns before he was PM, now sees him as a crucial ally. Washington has long viewed India as a counterbalance to China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific, although Delhi has never been fully comfortable with owning the tag. The youngest son of Myanmar's ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi has called on the military to free her from jail. He said he can't let his mother languish in prison. Kim Aris told the BBC Burmese in an inclusive interview in London and urged the world to do more to help her. Ms. Suu Kyi was handed a 33-year sentence in a series of trials after a coup toppled her government in 2021. Myanmar has since spiraled into a civil war which has killed tens of thousands of people. Mr. Aris, a British national, says the army has not yet given him any information about his mother or the condition of her health. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Families mourn passengers killed in sub-implosion. Joe Biden and Narendra Modi hail defining US-India relationship. Aung San Suu Kyi's son urges army to free her. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Vacancies for women from Desha, Lanka for housemaids in Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 58 years. Contact number 037 7500 500.
The Baminiava in the Hambantota Divisional Secretariat will be renovated after 35 years. The water supply will be provided by this tank to cultivate 56 acres of paddy land. 57 million rupees will be spent for the renovation project. That was development news.
Vacancies for women from Deshakti Lanka for housekeepers, home cooks, caretakers and home nurses in Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Singapore for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews with foreign agents are now on. Come whether you have a passport or not. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500.
On to sports news. The one-day international cricket match between the visiting New Zealand women's team and Sri Lanka women's team will be played in Galle on Tuesday. The second and third matches will be conducted on the 30th of this month and the 3rd of next month. 3 T20 matches are to be conducted between the two teams. These matches will be conducted on the 8th, 10th and 12th of next month. The qualifying matches of the World Championship Cricket Tournament will be played between Sri Lanka team and the Oman team today in Bulawayo. Both teams remain undefeated. That was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Working to reinvigorate the real estate landscape, Sri Lanka's leading private sector bank, HNB PLC, signed on as the official banking partner for real estate giant Homeland Holdings to offer prospective homeowners affordable payment solutions to invest in a property of their own. The promotion will be applicable across the Homeland's wide portfolio of lands. The joint venture was entered into at a simple ceremony held at the Homeland's head office in Battaramulla. That was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
We now take a look at economic news. Treasury bills valued at 130 million rupees will be issued. The relevant auction will be conducted on Tuesday. The central bank said that these bills will be issued expiring in 91, 182 and 364 days. It can be purchased from the primary dealers and from the licensed commercial banks. That was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers are expected in the western and Sabragama provinces, as well as in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Meanwhile, the northern and northwestern provinces are likely to experience a few showers. Showers or thundershowers may occur in parts of the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or at night. Fairly strong winds of about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour can be expected at times on the western slopes of the Central Hills, the North Central Province and in the Puttalam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, the headlines again. The U.S. Treasury Chief says that Sri Lanka's creditors should provide timely debt treatment. India and Sri Lanka work on action plan for future cooperation. The Prime Minister says that the interest-free loan to students who follow higher studies will be provided again. The State Minister said that 187 billion rupees has been allocated to provide the welfare beneficiary payment. It has been stated that a full-time program is in place in the country regarding the security arrangements. And in foreign news, families mourn passengers killed in sub implosion. That ends this afternoon's news broadcast. The time reads exactly 30 minutes past 1 o'clock. This is Radio Sri Lanka.